All right, welcome back to Wilkins Workshop. Here we go. We're on TinkerCAD now. We're gonna do another little 3D design in TinkerCAD, making a volume shape if your students are doing this. So here we go. We got a volume container. So I'm going to tinker this particular 3D file is what I've created. A couple things that I've gone ahead and imported into here. I'm going to delete this. So over here off to the side, we're going to see kind of our toolbar. We could turn this on and off where this is located. Um, we can remove that ruler. Here's our work plane. And we're going to just make a simple cube today with this one, or sort of a cube. It'll be a rectangular prism for this. So we're going to bring in a box, and we're going to bring in a hole. So we're going to take the hole and we're going to subtract it from the box. So how do we determine the volume of 1 cup? So I use Google to help me out here. So we can see that the dimensions of 1 cup in cubic inches, it's 14.44 cubic inches. So if I do some math, I'm going to use each side around 2.5. And so if I do 2.5 and then divide by another 2.5, here's the height that it would be. So if I had a square base of 2.5 by 2.5, then I'm going to need to have a height of 2.3104 to make that volume of 14.44. So let's design. So here we go. Here's my hole that I've got, and the length of it is going to be 2.5. And if you don't see this menu, there's a little drop-down box here that you click on, and now that turns it. So we got 2.5 by 2.5 by 2.3014. Is that right? Just check. 3104. So let's change that. 3104. And there is my volume of a cup. It is right there. I'm going to go ahead and lock that shape. And actually, if I lock it, I can't move it. So I'll take that back. We just don't want to click and drag. We can drag it around, but if you click on like one of these points, it'll shift what we have. So we don't want to do that. Just make sure when you click and drag it, you click on an empty spot, not on like one of these points. So that you can, we're going to just move it off to the side. Now, this one is going to be our solid part. So this we're going to make 0.1 bigger in each direction. So it's going to make 2.7 for the length, 2.7 for the width, and then the height is going to be roughly 2.4. So we have a 0.1 thick base on it when we put this in position. Now, how do we get these two items to kind of be like this? We want them to be overlapping so we can subtract the hole from that bigger box. But we want to line it up. That's kind of our next step. So we can move these around. We're going to move a ruler into position. We're just going to drop that ruler anywhere we want. I'm going to move this so that it's 0.1 inches from each side. So you'll notice that this is to the midpoint there. I wonder if it will give me a distance from here. Let's see. It's not. Well, that's okay. We can figure it out. So if this is going to be 2.5 and 2.5 from there to there, so this distance from here, so this green distance, that's not the one we want. This distance, this is going to be half of that. So 1.25 plus 0.1. So 1.35 is going to be that number. And we're going to make that 1.35. So that's a tenth plus half of this width there. That's how we get that number. Now this box, we want this guy to be right in the corner. So we're just going to kind of anchor it right there in the corner, which it does. And now if I flip it over, you can see that that hole is centered on the box. So it looks good. Now I'm ready to combine these two. Click and drag over the two, and I use the combine tool, this group. When I group it, and I right click and drag, you can see that it now cut the hole out of the box. And now I can rotate it. So I'm going to use this tool right over here and I can rotate this around 180 degrees. I don't need the ruler anymore. So I can use the X to get rid of it, dismiss that ruler. And you can see there's my container. So that's it. That's how you make a container. Again, you can do that with different shapes. You can do cylinders if you want. You can do cones if you want. Now, these are going to be a lot harder for kids in terms of elementary school to make things like this because just the shapes aren't going to be, as intuitive, and then the dimensioning is a lot harder. So some other things you can do inside of TinkerCAD is you can add some text. So I'm going to just throw some text out here, and I'm going to just put 1 cup. You can change the font. I don't know what any of these fonts really are, but let's go with work. We will change the height to probably 0.1. That's probably good. We're going to squeeze this in a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we want to move it so we attach it to that face. We're going to make it a hole. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to move it. And how can I get it to be attached to? Let's see. Let's rotate it this way. This on this face. It's pretty good. Then I might be able to push it back just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the side here. Do that. Let's try. Let's then group these two together. Let's see what we get. Nope, didn't work. So we're going to ungroup, Control Z that. So I wonder if we can take this, pull it out. Now that looks pretty good. See, that's going to cut into there just a bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Group those. There we go. Cut in. Oh, we cut too far. See that? Cut all the way through. That's going to cause a leak. Not good. So let's go in here. See if we can just drag it forward. There we go. So we just want to kind of touch the surface there. Now let's try that as a group. And maybe that's not enough. I didn't cut deep enough into there. So we'll try one more. It's probably too far. See this right here? We're going to change that number. We're going to do a negative 0.05. So 50 thousandths is usually a pretty good number because remember that wall thickness is only 100 thousandths. So it's going to cut halfway into that wall. And there we go. So now it's actually embedded into the wall, but doesn't cut all the way through it. So you can put like a 1 cup measurement on there if you want. You can add a handle if you want. There's a lot of things you could do at this point to this design in TinkerCAD if you want to mess with it. But that's the basics of TinkerCAD and how you can make a shape in there with an opening that you can then measure with. Now, how do we send it to an STL file? So we click on Export. We want to export an STL. And there it goes. It just names it the same name that it is right here. So if it's called volume container, it's going to export it as volume container in your downloads. So our next video is going to show you how to import it into a slicer and then how to slice it, 3D print it. I have Bamboo Labs printers, so that's what we're going to use in there. But again, this is the basics of TinkerCAD. Show kids, again, it's online, it's free. Create an account, and they can start having fun making things. There you go. Have a great day.